I'd like to bring in our guest, our first guest tonight, Patrick Alaco, founder of Zeus Political Index. He's an expert on all things California. Sir, welcome, and I appreciate you coming in. It does seem like something very screwy and wrong is happening again in California.
Greg, the election night results are really where the polls were tracking. When you saw Hilton coming first, Becerra coming second, Steyer coming in several points behind, that's what we called for the day of the election. Same thing in LA. When you look, we had Pratt and Bass right up front. We knew that Bass was a couple points ahead of Pratt, but nothing like we're seeing now. And where you have Rahman closing the gap right now, it's what we expected when we saw the delays. I was up the entire night. I'm on the East Coast. I was up the entire night watching the count and couldn't believe that they were talking about it will be weeks. It could be days, weeks, or even a month before we can get a legitimate result out of that state. It's an abomination.
All right. Well, you say that the results were tracking and you thought that they might close, but this is also an abomination because, let's face it, the more time that goes by, the more opportunity there is for monkey business. And these people don't want to hand the state over to Steve Hilton. So what do you think is actually going on? When rubber meets the road, what are they doing?
Well, they have a process. This is what I'm writing about this week because it's so disturbing. I mean, the process is that people can vote right up, postmark right up till the day of the election, and then they count those ballots. And then if there's an anomaly with the signature, they have 10 days then to rectify the mistake. So they go back to the individuals and do that. But whenever you expose ballots in a room, and there are many rooms around California, this isn't the only one, you've got all these places, you've got ballots sitting there. You cannot tell me that there's not room for monkey business.
Can I go back? You know, you saw what we did there a moment ago. Newsom, Brown, Wilson, Brown, Reagan. Election night used to be pretty simple. And I understand the jungle primary and things like that, but with all this technology, maybe Jimmy Carter and James Baker were right when they said, watch out for the mail-in voting because it's susceptible to corruption and coercion.
Greg, it's not the jungle ballot. The jungle ballot, other states have it. We had it up in Maine. We got results right away. I mean, it's their counting of the ballots. It's the way they go about sending out ballots to every registered voter in the state. What happened to absentee ballots where people requested a ballot and voted?
Yeah, I know. Like, that's right. That's the way it's supposed to be. It was so simple, so weird. Yeah. Finally, President Trump is either threatening, has already dispatched DOJ prosecutors to look into this. That's kind of what you have the federal government for. They'll portray this as radical, but this is exactly what they're supposed to do, look into local and state malfeasance. What do you think they'll find? And you know California, what will the reception be like for them? The pushback is going to be massive, I'm sure.
Though they're certainly allowed by law to be monitors in this process. And that's what I think they're going in under the guise of monitoring the elections. I mean, I have been looking at every single angle and how you could possibly steal the election. And, you know, quite honestly, Greg, there's a number of ways. I mean, the ballots that come in, so they're coded so that they first go through registered voters, and then they take the ballot and they separate the ballot, and then the ballot goes off on its own as an anonymous ballot. Even though it's coded back to a registered voter, you can't tell me that there's not ways of getting ballots into that system. And I think that's what they're going in and looking for.
Well, we appreciate you being with us very, very much. Patrick Alaco, founder of the Zeus Political Index. Zeus. I like the name. Is that Zeus the Greek guy, or what do you have in mind there?
It started out as the Greek guy with and then we modified the spelling of the name to Zeus. Correct.
All right, good, because we don't. Zeus is nice for fairy tales, but he's anyway. That's a whole other philosophical discussion, and I think you and I are on the same page. Patrick Alaco, we thank you very, very much.
Thanks for talking about the issue, Greg.
You bet.
Thanks.
To be continued. All right.